Welcome back, everybody. This is episode number 57 of the ZeroHP Podcast. That's the worst one.
Is that bad?
That you've ever done. Well, you've done that. We've all made that noise.
Yeah.
That was
it bad?
That was awful.
I was trying to mix it up.
Okay.
All right, I gotta go. That's good. Good. Good
so
seeing
it's
you,
just
man.
gonna be me today. Oops, that's my phone falling on the desk. Just ignore that noise. We're professionals. We're professionals here.
Yeah.
So, it has been yet another week, and it's another one of those Weirdo Sunday podcasts. This is becoming a thing, Mason.
I know, and it's my fault. It's my fault. I had a thing come up on Friday, so I was like, Ian, I need to not record today. And he was gracious enough to move it to Sunday, so
okay.
Here we are on the Lord's Day. I know, it was a huge deal. It was all, okay.
I went to a Diamondbacks game.
Yeah, that was, the whole text was, okay. All right.
Okay, cool.
Don't care.
See you on Sunday.
New phone, who's this? Here we are on a Sunday.
Yep. So the last time, it's funny because we did Sunday and then it was Friday. Like, it was a shorter period between recording.
Yeah.
Now it was last Friday all the way to the following Sunday.
Feels like it's been a millennium.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
So you've had an extended couple days of craziness going on.
Craziness.
What have you been playing, man? Let's jump into this shit.
Playing, the some of the huge. PUBG had. Did we talk about their quote unquote biggest update ever?
1.0
kind of
was the one you were saying was the biggest one, but then they did another one.
They had one in the test servers that was going on that was going to be their biggest update. Well, that got released. Been playing that a lot. I made a lot of changes, which I talked about last week, into kind of AR balancing. They added a lot of grips and scopes, which I didn't really understand. A new car, which we didn't need.
The muscle car.
The muscle car for all the desert terrain you have to traverse.
Off-road, like Jeep or something.
Yeah, I've always thought that was the best way to go. So I've been playing a lot of PUBG. I did dive into, because it's free to play this weekend, a little bit of For Honor.
Yeah.
By myself the other night.
How was it?
It's so good.
Is it worth picking up for 15?
It makes me so sad because it's so good, and part of me wants to say yes. The other part of me that wants to say no would only say that because I don't know what the player base looks like anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't really have any trouble finding a match, but then again, it was
free.
Yeah, it was free weekend. I don't know who's going to spend the 15 or 20 or 25 if you want the upgraded or the upgraded or the upgraded version.
Right.
Because you're crazy if you
All
think
the
there are not 5 different versions on Steam. That's not an exaggeration. You have the starter, standard, golden, premium, and I think there's one more.
That's so annoying.
It's gross to look at.
Just...
And the worst part is it's not easy to find an explanation of the differences between them.
Right.
So, like on Steam, on the Steam page for For Honor, it doesn't break down starter includes this and standard includes this plus that. It doesn't. Like, I had to Google it and find like a different website, and it's a lot of DLC stuff, a lot of characters, skins, stuff like that. But it's so much fun.
The game itself
it makes me wish that it was what it is. I think we would have played this game for a really long time if it played the way it does now.
So I was gonna kind of inquire as to dedicated servers making all the difference.
It's so insane. There's no more lag. The NAT type bullshit is no longer there. It's all just a game that we wanted, but unfortunately, people who were kind of left in the dust, like myself and you and all of our friends who played it, not left in the dust, but maybe like left in the something. I don't know. We were left behind.
We just weren't happy with.
We weren't happy.
The fact that the game didn't work, and we had to wait for them. A year it took them to get dedicated servers.
If a year, if not more, I don't remember. It feels like forever ago when we played
because it came out in February of 2017.
Yeah. So over a year, yeah. Well, okay, no, not over a year, but now it's free. They've had dedicated servers for a couple months, right?
Yeah, so I think it took about a year from launch for them to get their multiplayer own. Well, there was a single player campaign, but I don't even. It's like the least memorable campaign.
Yeah,
it's really a multiplayer only game, and the multiplayer didn't work. So.
I feel like the campaign was like an elongated tutorial for the multiplayer.
Exactly what it was.
That's what. I never played it, but you were telling me about it, and
I got halfway through it and just was like, yeah.
So I was playing it on PC. Runs great on PC, which is really cool. I don't have a lot of games that I had to plug a controller into my PC for to play, and this is one of them. Assassin's Creed was the other one, and it feels awesome. I was on a PS4 controller because my Xbox controller was being used at the moment. But no, it felt awesome. It ran great. It was fun. The skill-based matchmaking has been improved a lot. I only got paired. I did a lot of one-on-ones, and I only got paired with guys who were obviously brand new as well.
Probably joining the free as well.
Everyone was playing as the Vanguard for the Knights, basically, who I love. A lot of like beginner characters, and
I was like the Warden. I was a Warden guy.
Maybe okay. I'm sorry. Maybe Warden is what I'm thinking of.
Is Warden Claymore?
Yep. Okay. Yep. I apologize. Not Vanguard. I was thinking of the Warden. Everyone's playing as a Warden for the Knights, or the other two beginning characters. No, it's so much fun, man, and
it's such a cool idea. It's a very novel game.
It's so unique. The combat is always fun. The kills are really satisfying, which is a thing that we've talked about is hard to do in multiplayer games. Right. But yeah, it just made me sad, playing because I had so much fun playing it, but I still can't decide if I want to spend the $15. It is on sale still for another 24 hours, I think. Okay. Because the free-to-play ended like right now, and I think they left another day for the sale to go on for people like me who might go back and buy it to play it some more. But I'm not sure, honestly, if I'm going to do that. One other thing we did play, which I don't think we've talked about yet, which is kind of an exciting one, at least if you're into the same things that I am. We've talked about it before. Stardew Valley did add a multiplayer beta.
Really?
Yeah. It somehow never had multiplayer, which really surprised me. Even on, like, in a split screen, kind of same console kind of way, that game is made for multiplayer. Dude, it works so well, and it's so much fun. It's only on PC right now. If you go on Steam, you have to go to their website and get a code from them. It's all free. It doesn't cost anything, but you have to type it into like the game properties on Steam and unlock the beta access and everything. But they have, I think, up to 4 players can play on one host farm. If you're the host, you get the main house. Everyone shares the income. Everyone shares the money you spend. So it's kind of one bank account that's being pulled from. You have the host, and everyone else is kind of the farm hand. It's funny, you get your own little shack. Everyone has their own shack on the farm. Cool. It is really cool. It makes it 100 times easier to clear it out and to get everything. One guy can go mine. Mining is crazy important, but a big part of that game is time management, like we've talked about, right? Because you have to block out 2 or 3 days where you're only going to mine. Then you're missing 2 or 3 days of fishing and checking your traps and gathering for the museum, which is how people can dump so much time into that game. In this, I was like, okay, I'm going to go mine. You go fish. All right.
See you later.
We're killing 2 birds with one. See you later. You can go your own separate ways. You're not stuck to one area.
Okay.
He can be on the other side of the map. But yeah, it's so much fun. It works really well. I'm kind of surprised at how long it took them to make this thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I guess I wasn't aware. That's one guy. Well, step your game up, guy. But no, I don't remember. I think Stardew came out like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2016.
2016?
Yep. Okay,
yeah. But no, it works really well. It's a lot of fun. Definitely go try it out. We only played it once. Kevin's a terrible partner. Don't ever rely on him for your money or your living or your crops or your family or your house or your farm. He just fished the entire time. It's kind of a shit show. Our crops all died. They were eaten by crows. I died a lot in the mines by myself,
trying to fight the monsters
with no food, fighting monsters, trying to gather minerals. He's fishing. No big deal. No big deal. Shout out to Kevin. No, a lot of fun. But man, for what I've been playing, I think that's about it. I played a little bit of Fortnite as well.
Oh, cool.
I kind of dove back in on Xbox, actually, not on PC.
Really?
Yeah. Well, my brother doesn't own a PC, and he randomly one day was like, "Hey, want to play Fortnite?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I jumped on it, and then
I wish I could be like, "Hey, do you want to play God of War?" And you just said, "Sure."
Well, I don't. Well, God of War's not free, and I don't own it
so cool.
on every platform.
I could talk to you about it, like, dude,
I hate you so much.
This crazy thing happened. Like, you want to share this experience?
And see, now we're in this weird position where it's too late. Now, if I play it, you're already over it.
I'm never going to be over it.
You're not over it. You know what I mean?
Would you say that? Like, if you met someone who had not played Last of Us, and they said they were going to play, you'd be like, no, don't play it, I'm over it? Is that what you would tell someone?
Here we are. Fair enough. No, you're completely correct. You're completely correct. And
I wouldn't want to deprive that person of one of the greatest games of all time.
I'm obviously, very obviously, for anyone who's listening, stuck in this 19-foot deep hole that I'm trying to dig my way out of with no shovel. I have a plastic shovel that you use at the beach. You've got a plastic shovel,
and people just
and no water.
I show up every now and then, I throw Horizon at you. Like, here, take Witcher 2, you son of a bitch!
Just fumbling around.
Just God of War!
On copies of Witcher.
You're not getting out till you finish these games,
I'm
boy!
falling over on Xbox discs everywhere. I'm trying to climb out. I can't. A Witcher copy hits me in the neck. Oh god! Randomly, BioShock 2 gets thrown in there. Oh god!
No, BioShock 1 you got it.
BioShock, which I played more of, which we haven't. It was the night you had Kevin over, or you guys went to breakfast with Kevin that morning.
You were playing that morning?
I was playing that morning. So, Is that fair?
I mean, no, because you didn't even tell me.
Because I knew you were at breakfast.
I would have canceled breakfast, bro.
Sorry, guys. Hey, where's Ian? I thought Ian was coming. No, Mason's playing Bioshock.
That's fine. I do. I want to show up for a few of those.
I know. No, I know. And I'm sorry. It only gets played at weird times. Usually when Kevin's with you. You know what I mean? I'm playing Bioshock. You're like,
wow, I don't have someone to stream with. Yeah, that makes sense.
We're gonna get that situated. But yeah, I've actually been playing a lot more. But I meant to touch on Fortnite.
Man.
You know, I don't want to go too deep.
How long has it been since you played it last?
Since I really played it, like a couple of months maybe.
Okay.
They just recently, like last week, had their big season 4 maybe patch come out, which is huge. There was let me real quick explain. If you're not familiar with it, season 3, you know, like ranked seasons, games do that.
Right.
In season 3, there was like they added a new area called Tilted Towers. Maybe in season 2. Okay. And then in season 3, there was a meteor in the sky you could look at, and you could see it. And every day of the season, it got closer, like barely. I mean, barely, because the season is months long.
Yeah.
But you could notice it get closer. People would show pictures at the beginning of season 3 and ending of season 3, and it was
like way
obviously very different. People are like, okay, what's happening? And toward the end of season 3, there were smaller meteorites that would just randomly maybe kill a guy, just randomly, and people were like, okay, this giant meteor is going to hit, and one of these towns is going to be destroyed. Everyone speculated that it was Tilted Towers they were going to destroy, which was a new area. And it didn't. I don't remember what it destroyed. Maybe Dusty Depot. Yeah, because now it's called Dusty Divot. It's just a giant crater in the ground.
That's pretty cool.
But it is cool, man. There's no other game making weird changes no other multiplayer game making weird changes like this. And now there's like alien integration, kind of. There's like a weird lore happening where like the meteor hit, and now there's like these weird purple crystals everywhere, and you can eat them, and they let you jump around like a crazy person for like 10 seconds. It's not like game breaking, but you can jump a little bit higher and run a little bit faster. But and there's like these weird government labs that popped up all over the map. If you go into the basement of certain houses, there's like crazy giant laboratories that were like hidden there, and it's kind of fun. The game's different. I played it for a couple of hours. I had a blast. That's really it, I think, that I've been playing.
So you think you're gonna start playing a little more often on Xbox with your brother?
Yeah, if he wants to play, I'll play on Xbox for sure. I can't. Excuse me, I can't play it on PC. Everyone's just too good.
Yeah,
I'm too far behind. Fortnite's arguably at its peak right now. As far as people playing it and people being exposed to people who are really good at it, and so everyone's really good at it. I just don't have the practice on PC to be. And building is such a crazy meta. Like when we used to talk about it, me, you, and even Doug would be in here. We talk about Fortnite.
Yeah.
Building was like a joke. Like, why is this even? People would build funny little shacks and you could hide in there and crouch. Now building is a whole nother part of battling that you have to master, or you're just not gonna. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Yeah, you're not. So if you play on console, you might get lucky and end up in a lobby with someone playing on mobile, which is hilarious because it's all cross-platform.
That's insane.
Which is insane. I think you have if you're on PC, you have to have a person on console in your lobby to then be available to other people on console.
Okay.
But yeah. So for example, I mean. Dude,
by extension,
yeah. But I think
you wouldn't want to do this because they're so good. But in theory, you and your brother could play Xbox to PC.
Yeah, we could. It would be weird, but we haven't tried it yet. But yeah, I guess in theory we could. And I think mobile. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm sure you will, but I think mobile is cross-platform with everyone, which is hilarious. It does if you're a streamer. It's really funny. Not like me. I'm not a Fortnite streamer by any means, but there are people who just make highlight videos of them destroying people on mobile and putting them in these death traps.
How are they supposed to even...
Dude, it's crazy.
React to anything.
They don't, and that's the best part. It's so fun to watch. But other than that, I mean, Fortnite's killing it right now. They're doing a lot of good things.
Crazy that game is on a phone.
It's insane.
Our world right now.
PUBG's on a phone, man.
Yeah.
Not that it runs great. Fortnite...
It doesn't run well on a
It doesn't run well
PC.
on a $1,500 PC. It barely runs well. To its credit, it runs better now.
Yes,
but I mean, on an Xbox, it runs like garbage on Xbox, and that's a powerful machine as well.
Yeah.
Comparatively. Fortnite, what's crazy about it on mobile, it does not look that different. It's barely different. Because, I mean, if you've seen the game, it's very cartoon.
Kind of blocking.
Yeah, but it's still crazy to think about what you can do with an iPhone. You know what I mean? It's insane.
What's the phrase that we hear endlessly? Like, there's more processing power in your cell phone than everything they had on the shuttle that got us to the moon.
Oh
that was in 1969.
Okay, Dad, shut up.
No
yeah,
shit.
I know, that was 1969. But did we go to the moon? Just saying. But no, that's really it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I'm just kidding. I'm not one of those guys. But that's really all I've been playing, more than usual, I feel like. Oh, Bioshock. I played a couple more hours of Bioshock.
A few more hours in.
I got to the point where you have, I think, every gun. Unless there's more guns than you can have in your inventory. Like, you have kind of... There's kind of the bubbles at the top for each gun, and then I have up to the camera.
Okay.
I just got the camera. So maybe 4 or 5 hours in. That game is still terrifying by yourself.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean,
it's difficult.
Have you gone to It is, yeah. Have you gone to, like, the museum or whatever with the crazy guy who wears the rabbit mask?
No.
Okay, so it's still kind of scary up to that point.
Oh, okay.
It really changes.
Really?
Like, it gets very action-y later on.
Oh, as you become kind of more...
Yeah, as you get better and better, and a lot of the areas you're going to aren't quite as, like, dark. And,
okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, like the first several hours are really, they're super dark.
Yeah.
And I don't mean dark as in theme. I mean, you can't see very well.
No, there's literally, when you get the shotgun, they put you in a giant room with one spotlight in the middle, and you're just getting attacked from different directions.
Oh my god, it's so crazy.
And fend them off. It's crazy. It is. I was surprised at how difficult that game is. I don't know why. I'm only playing on like normal, maybe hard. Yeah, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's been years since I played it. I need to buy it at some point, like maybe just for one of the consoles.
Oh yeah.
And just replay them because they remade that trilogy on there.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in playing Infinite again, but I've never beat 2.
Oh really? Okay.
No, I couldn't get into 2 the first time, but maybe if I went back I could play it. But just to play 1 again, that's one of the few games. As I'm going on and playing more and more games, I'm like playing like everything that's not everything, but a lot of stuff that comes out. It's difficult to justify going back and replaying. Yeah. There are a handful of games out there.
Totally.
That it will definitely merit a replay.
Yeah, for sure.
I do want to play Witcher again, probably pretty soon. I don't know if I'll be able to afford to get... I want to get a new Xbox for my 4K TV before Red Dead comes out.
What's it called?
X.
Thank you. Yeah, an Xbox. So, okay. Cool.
Yeah, because I don't... just playing through God of War, I love the PlayStation. I love Sony and what they're doing, but I just don't like that controller that well.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
Don't like that console's interface at all. Yeah. And it's really slow. I don't know if you've been on PS4 recently, but like...
The new update?
I don't even know if it's a new update because I hardly ever play it.
It came out like a month ago.
A month ago?
Yeah,
okay.
It's relatively new. I know what you're talking
about.
Awful. So when you go into video and it pops up...
It sits there and it loads.
And it looks like an ad coupon book that pops up under video.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. And then it takes... Yeah, I know what you mean. We talked about it before. You go into video, it takes like 30 seconds.
It says loading, it shows circle, square, triangle, X.
Weird.
It's like, what the fuck is this? And I always have, for some reason, my brain just does not... cannot comprehend the PS4...
Yeah, it's
thing.
kind of...
I never remember where anything is. I'm like...
I know.
Then I go to Xbox and it's all... I've got pins, and it's all layered, and I've got all my favorite things are right on this line. The last thing I did is right here. I go down. I can just click the button, go into all of my games here, my apps here. It's just so organized.
I think up until Xbox released that last UI update, there was an argument for both of them. You can fight for either side, but dude, Xbox now... You can literally make it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
just move all the things around.
Wherever you need to in like 2 button clicks.
Yeah.
You're pretty much there.
It's running on Windows.
Yeah.
And Sony isn't.
Yeah.
And that's a huge upgrade. It runs like a PC in the sense that it's laid out. So it's just small things, but just I don't play it often. So when I go on the PlayStation,
it's like, where
my God,
is everything? Yeah. And then you have to go to your library, like on the far end, to get to your games and what you. It's kind of a mess. I didn't mean to abduct what I've been playing there, man. No, what have you been playing?
So finished God of War last night.
Yeah.
So it is done. So I'll be working on the review. My goal is to have the review out by a week from today.
We talked about it a little bit before, but just to touch on it, do you think you're going to keep playing it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just stuff left over to do. Like you could do everything without before finishing the story.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I was just like, I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
I need to see what happens. Like,
totally.
I was just tired of being on YouTube and being like, the ending. And I'm like, I can't watch this. You know, I want to watch some of this stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's talk to Corey Barlog about that ending. I'm like, oh my God. So I just wanted to beat it and see the story so I could start working on my review. And
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Next one, which is another one we talked about already, but total time put into it. You talked about how you kind of did some of the side stuff. But
I did a lot of side stuff. Gotcha. It's just like there's a few things as you go through the game and you get better gear and stuff like that. You're able to. it's kind of like, it's very Metroidvania. So like you start out and you're like, oh, here's a door with this magical seal on it. Can't do anything about it.
Can't do it yet.
And it's like right in the beginning of the game, like right near the house. You don't get what you need to open that seal until like 75% of the way through the story. So then you're like, wow, I've seen so many of those doors. You know what I mean? So it equips you with things to go back. And like there's another thing that keeps happening, which I won't talk about, that changes the physical state of the central hub of the world.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So like you're in there once and then you come back and whoa, it's like there's all this new stuff here now that was not available earlier.
Yeah.
So now I can go and explore all this stuff. And then you do more of the story and oh, it happened again and now it's different again and there's even more things to do. So it like keeps you, there's always stuff to do.
Okay, cool.
So like I have some side missions and I want to go find all those magic doors and just do all that stuff.
Cool.
So like I probably played like 30 something hours when I finally finished the storyline. And it'd probably be another 10 to 15 before I'm done. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And it doesn't feel like, I'm not like, oh, like I have to get this. I'm not going to play it as much now.
Yeah,
because I have other stuff that's, but I love it so much. It's so fun to play. It's like, drop in and play it.
I already know the answer to this question. I'm sure you'll touch on it more in your review as well. But like the ending, you talked about everyone saying like that ending. Did it pay off for you? Do you feel like?
Yeah. And in a way that, how do I go about this without spoiling anything? The structure of the game makes you think that the ending is going to be a certain way. And it's just a massive relief when it's not the way that you were expecting it's going to be.
Okay.
Based on what's going on.
That makes sense.
It looks like it's like, here we go. The build up for the game. And like the way that, the sort of the Mario, that's what I've been hearing in other reviews recently is your princess is in another castle. Like when you get there and you go through all this work and you get to where you think you need to be and you're like, actually, and some people actually have that as a problem with the game. I never minded that because I'm like, okay, now what do I get to do?
I know now I get to play more.
That is a thing. Like that is a sort of like you have the crystal or whatever, and it's like we're gonna get to our destination, and then someone fucks it up.
Okay,
gotcha. I lost the crystal, and so it is a little bit of a thing. But so you were always thinking like, like you're waiting. It's like a Game of Thrones episode. You're just waiting, like, what the fuck is gonna happen now?
That's true.
And so the ending kind of surprised me a lot.
In a good way.
In a really good way. It also definitely leaves off for a sequel without being a shitty cliffhanger like Halo 5. It's artful. It's good. It's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I don't want to talk about it too much just because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't played it, or including myself.
Right.
I know you don't believe me. I do still plan on playing it.
No, I don't believe you.
I know you don't believe me. That's fine.
Cool.
That's fine.
I hope you do.
I don't doubt you. All right. I don't blame you for not believing me. I wouldn't believe me either.
I mean, it's not one of those things where I'm hoping I'm going to be right. And the monitor prophecy is now showing a God of War picture.
How? You don't have that many God of War backgrounds.
I have
maybe 2 or 3. One.
I have just this one.
And
one out of like 42 or 43.
This is insane.
And it comes up. It's like
we've been talking about it for maybe a minute, maybe 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
What's cool too is I remember before I played this game and I saw this. This is the Game Informer cover.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like, is that really going to be like the enemies? And like, yeah, it really is. Those are all of those guys you fight in the game, and they're all as cool as they look.
Oh my God.
Like those witches. These witches are amazing. I don't know. They're all. The cool thing about it is like, even though you only have the one, you have the axe, right? You have the axe and you have your bare hands, and that's really it. It's not really about like a huge weapon selection.
No, yeah.
But just the way that all the enemies react differently to different strategies.
Yeah.
And you have Atreus with you, so he's got different kinds of bow types that do different kinds of things. Even though you're limited in what you're using, you never even think about it because every single one of those creatures goes down in a different way. Like some of them you have to just use your bare hands. Some of them you have to use the axe. Some of them you can freeze them if you throw the axe at them. And like this guy right here goes underground. Some of them go underground. So if you hit them with the axe and you freeze them, they can't go underground. And like so, like there's all these. You're always doing. Especially when a couple different ones pop up, you're always kind of doing like this math of like, okay, boom, I see you, and boom, 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 I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna throw the axe at you, freeze you over there. I can only beat you up with my bare fist, which is fine because I just threw the axe. So I'll go after you next, and then every single one, if you stun them, has a different execution animation, which are just gloriously brutal.
You're ripping Draugrs in half.
At first, I was worried because I kept ripping Draugrs in half. I'm like, is this the only one?
Yeah.
But it's each different creature has one execution.
Gotcha.
So by the end of the game, you've seen like 20 different kinds.
Gotcha.
So when you're fighting multiple enemies, it's really cool if you can get a couple in a row. Like tear him in half, snap that guy's neck 360 degrees, and then throw him, pick him up and slam him on the ground.
Oh my god!
Beat this guy, smash his head with your boot, like and it's all mixed in. And you throw your axe, and they get stuck in the wall, and they're frozen. And then you pull it back out, and on its way, it smacks the Draugr in the back of the head and blows him up into ashes, and you get your axe back. And then you have like the different magical abilities and upgrades. So it's all just like it's very seamless. It works all together perfectly. You never really have to think about it's never. I don't know. It's just a seamless loop of gameplay.
Yeah.
There's no cutscenes. It never takes you out of the moment. Even when you're not in control, you still feel like you could be hitting the buttons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't skip or anything. So yeah. So it's definitely I'm looking forward to writing the review for it. It's gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna. I love it so much. It's hard to even really be like, all right, let's talk about a review.
Dive in,
look,
yeah.
you don't need a review. Just get this game. It's one of the greatest games ever made in the history of video games. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just fucking. And I don't mean to you. I know. In general, honestly, if you didn't own a PS4, I'd be like, I don't know what your money situation is, but you need to look into buying a PlayStation for this game. That's what I would say if someone didn't own a PS3.
I mean, that's completely fair. You know, I talked about it before. It was a long time after Last of Us came out, but I bought a PS3 to play that game.
Right.
And I don't regret it for a minute.
100%. God of War is that for the PS4.
Yeah, for sure. Damn, dude. That's crazy.
It's so funny, actually. That just reminds me. I just watched this little video of Cory Barlog, who's the creative director of the game. Mm-hmm. And he was giving a tour of Santa Monica Studios. And before he was in the video, this woman was who works there as well started the tour off, and she's like, "Oh, there's Corey." It's corny on purpose. "Oh, there's Corey. Let's go see what he's doing."
Yeah.
And she walks up to him, and it's like, "Oh, he's reading a Last of Us comic." Because he'd heard a lot of the people before it came out, it kind of looked like Last of Us. You're with this younger person, you're this older grouchy person.
He's kind of playing to the.
So he was. So they come up to him, and he's in the Last of Us comic. He's like, "Oh, I'm stealing this." It was just it cracked me up.
That's good.
That guy seems really cool.
That's awesome, man. You know, if you can be made fun of and play along, that's really special, especially in a position that he's in.
Yeah.
Creative director of arguably one of the biggest games made in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But no, that's awesome, man. You know, I'm preaching to the choir here, but if you haven't played God of War, definitely go do it. I want to as well. Whether you believe me or not you, the people are invested now. They want to know.
Well, it's not for me. It's not one of those things where I'm hoping that I'm right.
No, I know. You're hoping you're wrong.
I would as soon as you tell me that you're playing it, I'm gonna be genuinely excited, really, really excited. Which I'm always like that with a game that I love. When someone tells me "Oh, here we go, man," I'm like,
"Oh, dude!"
I just get so it's a weird vicarious. I'm just excited.
Yeah, you at least pretend to be interested when I talk about PUBG, and that's not even a game you love. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, I've played PUBG. Yeah. I don't have 300, 400 hours, but I have 37 hours or something.
We
played.
It's not
like I haven't. I don't know what's going on with PUBG.
100%.
But that's. You bought it for me. I probably would have gotten it because eventually, just because you guys were playing.
Everyone's playing it.
Part of it. We haven't recently, and that's my fault.
No, you
ESO and then God of War. And so this has been a crazy week. I'm really glad I finished God of War because the new Total War came out.
Oh yeah,
barely even gotten to play that.
That's right.
I played it I've only played 3 or 4 hours so far.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to do a Let's Play of that for our Fridays.
So I was curious about that, and is that kind of still part of what you've been playing?
Oh, yeah. It's sort of both. But I guess before we go there, we're on the topic of God of War.
Yeah.
We pulled up that article.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let me see. I've got it right here, actually. I think I got it right here.
I think I can.
So the headline is from Forbes, and I love Forbes because
never heard of them.
Forbes is like a business.
magazine? I was kidding, right? Okay, I'm just making sure.
Oh,
that was like everyone's heard of Forbes. This is a big deal.
I don't know.
It's a big deal.
I didn't know if you.
That was my point. This is a big deal.
Journalism has died, so I don't expect anyone to know anything about. I mean, the only reason I know about Forbes is because they always pop up with business stuff for games.
Yeah,
which I really like because a lot of the actual gaming companies don't like to talk about their business.
Yeah,
dude, I want to know. I don't understand that either because movies, that's a thing. The box offices report their sales numbers.
Yeah,
we always know how much a movie is made domestically and worldwide in a weekend and records. They have all this stuff, and it's all open public knowledge, and we can all talk about it. And it's harder with games. Yeah. They're don't count the digital copies, and we don't like Microsoft when they were tired of showing how they were getting their ass kicked by Sony.
Yeah.
We're like, well, we just wanted. We'll say, we made profit this quarter.
What the fuck? What does that mean? Yeah.
So the last time we got to see, I think it was like last year at some point, Xbox had sold like 43 million units, which is fucking great.
That's great.
It's nowhere even close to Sony.
Do we know where?
Sony's probably going to hit 100 million.
Oh my God.
I think they're like around 80 right now. 80 million PS4s.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. And what I'm hoping, like, all the people that own PS4s, like, I hope even a fraction of them buy God of War.
Yeah, speaking of which.
Yeah, so so this article is just a little sales thing. The title of the article is God of War sells 3.1 million copies in 3 days, is PS4's fastest selling exclusive by a mile.
Single player games are dead.
Single player games are dead. And actually, what's great? Talking about Corley Barlog, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
I've been following him on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
He had a tweet where he quoted Jorgensen, the EA, head of EA.
Oh, no.
Saying that the linear single-player games are not as popular and players don't like them as much as they did 5 or 10 years ago. And then he attached this article. And I was like, dude, I love you so much.
Dude, savage.
So fuck you, EA.
So basically, God of War is getting a Battle Royale mode.
Right? Yep, that's going to bring in...
That'll do it, yeah.
Well, with that gameplay... Whew,
that'd be insane.
I don't know how that would work multiplayer. I think it'd be kind of crazy. I don't think it would work very well.
I don't think it would work very well.
No.
It'd be insane.
Oh,
yeah. With that combat axes and everyone's got powers. There's a bunch of kids running around.
If you had to force multiplayer onto a game that doesn't need it like this, I would say what I would do. Do you remember in Halo? Do you remember Juggernaut? Do you remember the Juggernaut mode in Halo?
If I'm not mistaken, one guy was kind of a tank, right? And everyone had
to
give
him like 200% shields, double damage,
faster,
faster, all that stuff, and everyone had to band together. So it would be cool, like if everyone had to play as like different kinds of Draugr and
that would be cool.
And had to take out Kratos, who's a fucking God of War.
That would be cool. Maybe a 10-man game.
Yeah,
kind of small scale. You could put it in different area, like set pieces from the game.
Right.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would actually work pretty well. Yeah, that would be fun. Real quick, Last of Us and Uncharted both had multiplayer. Yeah. Not that they're the same. God of War's on a whole other spectrum, but they did it really well.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it. Yeah, Last of Us had awesome multiplayer. I barely played it, but I remember thinking like, this is fun. Really good.
Uncharted was fun as well. It was way more fast paced, obviously, because you can swing from vines and run up walls and stuff. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I think definitely shooters are inherent to why.
Yeah.
It works a little better
for sure
than having just melee.
Just melee. Yeah. Four on it.
If you had to do it, that's an idea, I guess. So to quote from this Kratos article, it says that while Kratos may be old, he and his franchise are very far from dead. In the wake of a flood of rave reviews, God of War has sold an astonishing amount of copies at launch, 3.1 million in just 3 days. It's about 1 million a day, they said. That's what it sold. That makes it the fastest-selling PS4 exclusive this generation, beating the likes of Uncharted 4, which sold 2.7 million in a week. It finished at 8.5. Uncharted 4 did.
Oh my God. I forgot.
Which, then these Sony figures, forget about God of War, are already making that quote from the EA guy ridiculous. 8.5 million copies for Uncharted 4 on a single console, single player only game. Well, it has multiplayer, but that's no one buys it for that.
Right, yeah, 100%.
Horizon Zero Dawn, 2.6 million in 2 weeks. And that makes sense. That was a lot slower because it wasn't an established franchise. People weren't sure yet.
We're not sure how the game was going to go. A lot of people had trouble with connecting with the character until you were exposed to her, I feel like.
Right, they just weren't, and that's a new IP, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like people there's not that familiar, like, oh, Kratos, Nate,
Aloy.
But.
Terrible name.
Horrible name for a wonderful character. Yeah. And Horizon Zero Dawn, though, the cool thing is, it started 3.4, 2.6 in 2 weeks. It ended with almost 8. So as people buy it, right, those 2.4 million in the first 2 weeks were like, play it, right? It's really good. Then it picks up steam, and it almost sold as much as Uncharted 4 did by the end of it. I think they got close to 8 million. And then The Last of Us sold 3.4 million in the first 3 weeks on PS3. Again, new IP.
Right, yeah. 100%.
They weren't sure what it was yet. Picks up steam.
It's kind of dark. It was kind of new. People probably weren't sure.
Right, so... it's just like anything. Like movies come out, if it's a new movie, it doesn't do as well always, and then it gets word of mouth, and the sales go up, and then the sequel comes out. And they're saying that the game would have sold well regardless. It seems like one instance where perfect scores and gushing reviews helped because they came out way before. It was like 10 days.
Yeah,
or almost 2 weeks before.
Yeah, we were talking about it like a week or two before it came out. Like reviews are already here.
Yeah, and they're all 10s.
They're all 10s. It's insane. Yeah.
So I'm just looking through. I wanted to see if there are any more sales figures.
But yeah, to put that into perspective, I'm sorry, you said Horizon Zero Dawn did
2.4
in the first 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
And God of War hit 3.1 in 3 days.
3 days. Okay. So we're looking probably at like 10 to 12 million at that rate.
So
which is still, considering there's like 80 million PS4s out there, I'm like, why aren't you all getting this?
But that's still nuts. One out of every 8, owns God. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I love it.
I know, but what are the rest of you doing? What's going on? It's a bunch of me's out there not buying great games for no reason.
Yeah. It's $60. It's a big setback for money. I mean, I think that's a plenty good reason for a lot of people. Like, look, I just can't afford it. And it kind of depends on like what you also have a lot going on. You're streaming and other things going on. So it's not just like the hard time I give you, like you just won't play it, which is why the reality that I like to build for myself.
I hate, man. It's fine.
I'm like somehow a maverick. I'm some maverick playing games out here. Like it's just bullshit.
You're on top of the hill yelling down to us plebs.
But right, exactly. So I'm curious. We'll see what happens with how far it goes up and how quickly those numbers climb. I'm sure Sony is going to be proud to show everyone the numbers. Whenever it's good, they're like, here, look at them, look at the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And we know it's going to be good. I mean, just going off of that.
And I don't know, they didn't say in that article if that's all, if that's digital and physical.
Oh, yeah.
I have no clue. If it doesn't include digital, then it may have sold even more. Oh, no, it definitely.
For sure, yeah.
But I'm going to assume it did because he didn't mention it.
Yeah.
And he's saying the game has sold flat 3-1.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that means they included the digital sales. Which means that they had to go to Sony and get those, and Sony was like, "Yeah, take these numbers,
publish that, Forbes."
But it's true, man. Like this idea, I don't think anyone ever really believed the hyperbole that single player games are dead. But I know for a fact that there is an idea from publishers and players that like it's rare and it's very hard to make money doing it. And it is. It took them 5 years to make that game.
Yeah.
So it kind of has to come from a place of like confidence, and they have to be confident in their developers. And it's a difficult spot to give credit to some of these publishers that aren't doing that. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, and
it's not always guaranteed to be great. Like Sony has built this magnificent relationship, and they've purchased all these companies, but they're not like, you're Sony now, and they don't choke the life out of their people trying to get them to build exactly what they want. They're like Cory Barlog had to convince them that this was a good idea, but they were convinced, and then they just leave them alone, and just give them money and like get updates every now and then, and then it comes out, and they're like, oh, 10 out of 10, like good, glad we let you guys do what you needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, they are taking a risk, kind of how you talked about, of course, but I feel like with the name like God of War, and if you have a talented team of people, like Naughty Dog, you're never going to really doubt them.
Right.
Not that I'm not saying Naughty Dog made God of War, obviously, but just as an example, probably one of the biggest ones, at least for Sony. It's like they're going to give you an idea, and you're going to trust them because they've proven it to you in the past.
Over and over again.
Over and over for years that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They care about the projects they're putting together. They're not trying to push out a thing and throw a bunch of microtransactions in there and try to get as many eyes as possible, regardless of the actual quality of the content. You know what I mean? I think when you had someone, EA being that someone, if you put it into one kind of being, saying, yeah, single player games are dead, they're kind of just trying to will their agenda into existence. Because someone with that much power, if they're going to say it, there's obviously people who go, that's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what EA said.
Yeah.
And if God said it, it's true. You know what I mean? Kind of situation.
And I think there's an interesting look at, I think Sony understands that they're not going to make Destiny money from this.
No.
Because it can't be monetized over and over. They're not going to release
Right, yeah,
stuff.
It's not a revolving kind of...
But look at what's happened to the Destiny community.
Yeah.
They hate that company now.
Yeah.
Like it's gotten worse and worse with the game. As the game has gone on, it's gotten worse, and they found out that they were limiting experience because they wanted them to purchase microtransactions and all this stuff. And it's just so it's like, yeah, great, you have your money now, Activision. You have it up front, and you've ostracized a huge amount. And I think Destiny 3 probably will not sell as well now.
Yeah.
So it's like long-term investment. I'd like to see after it's all said and done, with Sony pushing out Bloodborne, Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, and EA, which just puts out bullshit, and Activision, which puts out a bunch of bullshit, rushed stuff. It's like Mass Effect came out, Andromeda was rushed, clearly. And you're destroying the goodwill of your customer base. Yeah, you sold 15 million copies of Battlefront, but how many customers did you lose in that process?
Oh, I mean, going back to the Reddit article. You know what I mean? Now that game is known for being that. Right. Being negative. You know, it's attached to this weird...
Even people who don't care.
Yeah.
Still, I was in GameStop way back in like November when that game came out.
Yeah.
And a guy who clearly doesn't pay attention, which is fine. He's a casual gamer.
Yeah, totally.
He came over and he was like, so what's going on with Battlefront 2? It's just not good?
Even he knew.
He knew it was bad. You know, and then the GameStop employee was like, no, that's crap. And I was like, oh, the GameStop employee was dead wrong.
Yeah, he's trying to sell the game. Yeah.
But like even that person just didn't even know what was going on. It was like knew there was something. There was a lot of like anger about it. So it affects you. It affects your long-term goals. In 5 years, Sony's just going to be clicking right along with their 100 million PS4 sold,
man. I mean,
and their 12 million God of Wars, and their 7 million Horizons.
Think about 4 or 5 years from now when we see the next little teaser drop for God of War 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, God of War 2,
just
or
wait.
The next game that they're fostering, that Ghost of Tsushima game.
Yes,
which is made by Sucker Punch. I'm buying that day one because
100%.
I don't even care. I know Sony oversaw the whole thing. Yeah. I trust their talent team, and I know it's going to be a great game.
But we know it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be at least an 8. Like that's like the worst that Sony seems to be able to do.
That would be shocking.
I don't think I've played an 8 from them in a long time. So I can't wait for anything they do. It's like they're the best company in gaming right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue that. Of course, it's all subjective, but as far as numbers go, there's no argument.
As far as numbers and just quality, even if you're like, I don't like God of War, it's just like music. Like there's a lot of music out there that I don't like it, but I don't think it's garbage.
But it's good music, and you're willing to acknowledge that it is good music. I mean, just numbers and facts will tell you it is good.
It's just great.
It's just great. It's not your thing. That's totally fine, but it's great.
So I'm excited. I can't wait to see if they have any. They said there's no DLC plans, which I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah,
really surprised.
I think I don't remember if we were live when we were talking about it. But I had said last week. I think when I got here, maybe we always do a little powwow in your kitchen before we come in here. And
we kind of almost hash out what we're going to talk about without trying to.
Sometimes we get deep into a conversation. We're like, hey,
go save it for the podcast.
But no, I was saying this is the only game I've seen in a long time where people I follow on Twitter were actually asking for downloadable content that they're willing to pay for.
I want
more. It's crazy. Usually it's...
And there's a massive space for it.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, I don't remember if we were recording it. Sorry if we already talked about it. But yeah, continue with what you're saying.
No, it's fine. That's all I'll say. Is there's a mechanic in the game. Actually, almost everything in this game could have been microtransactions too. All the armor pieces and the runes and all that.
Sure.
It's like EA is probably looking at this and be like, "Oh my God, look at all the money! You could sell all of these things." And they didn't. They didn't do it because they care about their game. But there's definitely a space there that I would feel is not cheap DLC. Like, I mean, I'm going to play this game for 40 hours.
Yeah.
And then they could give me more. I'd pay anything.
Yeah.
I'd pay $60 more if they can give me 40 more hours.
It's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
So we want to touch on one thing, but before we get there, because I'm actually technically still in the what we playing thing.
Oh my God. Okay.
We're 40 minutes in. It's been a good conversation.
No, it's a good conversation.
Dude, Total War.
I had a couple questions. I'm obviously out of the loop with the whole Total War conversation, but so is this is a totally new game? Right? No, kind of.
Yes.
You did like a weird breathing out of the top of my mouth. Your voice is high pitched.
It's that one where they're trying to remember like back when I told you that they're making it confusing now because Sega is the publisher. They're trying to please two completely different fan bases. Obviously, I'm someone who's in the middle and likes everything they come out with because I like fantasy and I like history.
Right.
So I'll play anything you play.
Yeah.
But they have a huge group who are like, I don't want Warhammer. Like, I came to Total War because it's history.
History,
And then we have a whole other group that's like, history's boring, I want giants and dragons.
Right.
And you have these two groups, and they're trying to please both these groups simultaneously.
Yeah.
So that studio has grown massively, where they have multiple teams working on other stuff. So what they did is they went back to the last historical game that was released, which was Attila, and they took the engine and the way, everything how that game runs, and they built a new game on it. So some people aren't considering it a full sequel because it's not like it's not built on the newest engine. It's not built from the Warhammer stuff. So there's kind of an argument like, well, is this a sequel? And it was only $40 at launch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they're not even pricing it like a full sequel.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So it's just kind of this weird sort of, and it's just because they're trying to put more stuff out to please both their fans.
Both sides, yeah.
So this one is more specific. Like, because a lot of the time, Total War games will be like, look, it's just the Roman time.
Right, yeah.
And you start from when Rome's a tiny little kingdom and you build them all the way out to the whole empire. And it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Or it's like colonial time or all samurai time. Like this is huge swaths of...
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, the better ones are more specific. It's like this one is super specific. It is the Viking Age in Britain.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So it's like a super zoomed up map, like this massive map of England. England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland.
I was going to say, obviously it's not history, but for like Warhammer 2, there's kind of an event going on, right? It's kind of in this one time.
Yeah, Warhammer 2,
frame,
like the Warhammer games are different because they don't have to worry about
accuracy or anything like that. Yeah.
So it's just like, look, here's this big world and all of these crazy cool fantasy factions, play with them and do whatever you want.
This is kind of what's going on right now. Yeah.
It's like, and there is a story for the Warhammer 2, like you can, that kind of helps to move you along.
Okay.
But other than that, like it's not as strict where the history one's like, okay, well, we need to get specific about our time period here.
Yeah, yeah.
And it changes like the pacing of the game and stuff. But I'm really liking it so far. I'm going to do a review for this one as well.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I'm also going to do Let's Plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm hoping to have the review out in like a couple of weeks. I want to get God of War done first. Then by then I should have enough hours under my belt to do a review for Thrones of Britannia. I haven't played it that much yet. I did a little like first impressions video last Friday.
Okay, cool.
Came out.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes long. But it's cool. Like they changed some of the way that the campaign works, and they made enough changes to where it doesn't feel like, wow, they just stamped Attila into a new era and said we're good.
Like a copy paste.
It doesn't feel that way.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It doesn't feel that way. A lot of the mechanics work differently. It feels a lot different to play it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm actually having to learn a little bit. Like, oh wow, like this isn't just pick up and play right now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. So I've only have about 4 or 5 hours in, so I don't have like a huge verdict or anything. But it's Total War. I don't know. I mean, if you're into it, man, I would suggest picking it up.
And it's $40.
Yeah, it's $40. That'll go down quick, so you could wait for December or whatever. Yeah. But then that's the crazy thing is they're having another one come out this year, and it's a full-on sequel on a brand new engine, and it's $60. I'm like, I don't know.
That's crazy. They're pushing out a lot of...
Yeah, they have so many teams. And that one's about China.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of stuff coming out.
Okay.
It's really weird because Total War, not to be like hipster about it, but like back when I first started playing, like no one had ever heard about it. Rome Total War was kind of like Rome Total War put them on the map, right? Like the first Rome, and then they made Medieval, which was even better in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. People loved that, and then they just kept making really good ones, like fantastic ones. They made Shogun after that, and that was brilliant. And people were like, "Oh man, they're just on a roll." And it was every couple of years a game.
Okay, yeah.
Then Rome came out. Rome 2 came out, and it was a disaster. It was not.
You said the game was like unplayable.
It was unplayable for a lot of people. I didn't have my PC yet because it came out in like 2013, I think.
Gotcha.
And it was a disaster. So then they like destroyed a lot of their goodwill.
Yeah.
All this stuff. So like eventually Warhammer kind of put them back on the spot. And I feel like releasing the first Warhammer in 2016 just kicked them off. Like, I think it sold way better than they thought.
Yeah.
But it also created this really loud group of history fans and then Warhammer fans who wanted more. So I think it's almost by necessity. They're like, oh, we're going to make this, we're going to make this. We're successful now all of a sudden. It's like we went from being a successful, small community with a hardcore fan base.
Yeah.
that probably sold like 1 million units, and we were good to go with that because it's Sega and it's like that's their little strategy guy. And then the struggles happened. Then when Warhammer came out, it sold really well for a strategy PC game. It sold really well, and I think that just like kicked them off. And now they're like, "You want Total War? Here you go!" And they're just like throwing it out. But so far, it hasn't been bad. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how it keeps coming out. But I really like this game. It definitely feels like more of like a big expansion, but it's fun, man. Like you can play as the Vikings and just land on you go into a battle and you have your long ships and they land on the beach and your Vikings hop off with their axes and so those are really cool.
The patented charge.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. So
what does our token Total War fan Tim think of it?
I don't know too much. He was trying to decide if he wanted to buy it or not because he just plays Warhammer so much. He focuses on Warhammer.
Gotcha.
He did end up getting it.
Yeah.
And he's been playing quite a bit recently. I've seen him on there. So I'm going to talk to him more tomorrow on Monday and see what he thinks. He's probably played more than I have now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to play today as well. So
cool.
Yeah. The only other topic that we had was the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer.
Red Dead.
You saw the trailer when it came out,
I
right?
watched the trailer when it came out. I watched it again before I came over.
Cool.
This is the third big trailer they've dropped, I think.
Yep.
Ish.
The first one was like didn't show much. It was just like the panning scenes of nature.
Yeah.
It was like panning scenes of the woods, panning scenes of the swamp.
It was like a deer. Like
it was just sort of like here's what we're building. And the second one had a little bit more. It was like a narration. It showed like cowboys riding on horses across a plain.
Was that when it kind of only showed like their back? You couldn't really tell who.
Yeah, and then it showed like a town with like a butcher or whatever, like walking around, and like again, it was sort of panning, but it was more detailed.
Yeah,
this is like I said, this is the first real story based.
Yeah, we're starting to get more narration like from the characters,
right?
Now. So we're hearing
seeing scenes from the game.
We're hearing about Dutch, who is obviously going to play a big part in the game. I don't know too much about it. I haven't dove in deep, if you will, into the...
neither have I, purposely.
The Red Dead Wiki. Yeah, no, I'm trying to kind of stay away from it. I know, pretty much everyone knows, but if you don't already, this is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, if you will. This takes place in 1899. Thank you. And then
the original took place in 1910.
1910. Yeah, I was going to say it's 10 or 15 years after the prequel. So yeah, that'll give you an idea. John Marston is still in the game.
Yeah, you saw him. Did you see him there?
Yeah, I did see him.
Young buck with his scars still.
But you're not playing as him, right?
Correct.
You're playing as Morgan.
Oh, I can't remember.
So maybe
I thought you were playing as Dutch.
Question mark? You are Dutch?
I don't know.
Maybe his name's Dutch.
I purposely stayed away from the game.
I know
but the trailer, the game looks fucking gorgeous.
No, it looks gorgeous. I mean, this is not. It's not anything we should be surprised by. I did read in an article it is going to include multiplayer content. I know we talked about before whether that was going to be a big thing in this game. If you look at like GTA 5, that game, 90% of its revenue probably came from multiplayer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people still play that game. It's crazy.
Oh, it's massive.
It's
probably
insane.
The biggest multiplayer game, honestly.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. I don't know how you make a multiplayer world that's so replayable in a game that takes place in an older time like that. Because you can't fly
cars,
jets. You can't fly jets around
helicopters,
and attack a military.
I think it'll attract its own audience.
Yeah, 100%.
That likes to kind of...
Did you ever play Red Dead 1 multiplayer?
No.
No?
I didn't, because I had it on PlayStation, and I just didn't...
To give you a quick... It's very unique, very interesting, very fun. So if you look at GTA multiplayer, when you start out, you're just like a thug. That's like even your ranking is like thug. You're just a guy. You have like very basic clothing on. You do a few quests. You get your money. You work your way up. You buy a house. Blah blah. So in Red Dead, you're like, how do you do that? You just start out as like a guy or a girl, a character you pick, and you have like an alpaca that you ride around because you can't afford a horse.
Right.
Like it's just really funny how they carried that over into kind of an older theme.
Yeah.
So you have like an alpaca you can ride around on.
That's great.
You go like
a donkey.
20 miles an hour. So it was always really fun. But yeah, you have like throwing knives you started out with. You could try to fight. They go like 15 feet and they just fall. But it was really fun. So I was curious if you had tried the first one multiplayer. But I wonder how they're gonna incorporate the second one. I guess we won't know until we see kind of the world and how it lives, and I don't know.
I did see an interview about how they're trying to push design in an open world and technology for open world, and this is more persistent. So like if you just run off into the woods and just come back, like a bunch of stuff has happened and your gang is like, where the fuck have you been?
Right.
What's going on?
It's kind of interesting.
More reactive to you, but also it's not. It's reactive to you because it's a real world, not because it's built for you to just mess with.
Yeah, I mean, remember, and not to keep bringing up GTA 5, I apologize, but that's like the most recent thing I had to compare it to as far as Rockstar. Their big thing when that game came out was that you could follow around an NPC and they would live a full day.
Yeah.
They would leave their house in the morning and go to work, and they would leave and get their car washed, smoke a cigarette, hang out, go home, feed their dog. Like, it was everyone there was living a life.
So that's still the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's going to be, I just think it's going to affect you more as the player character.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. It looks great. It was weird. It was like it didn't really tell you much about the story or like what it's going to be about. Opens with the train robbery.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of background dialogue that's not part of what you're seeing. I'm just so curious what it's going to be about. Like, so you're a gang. Like, is it the founding of the gang? Is it? I want to know. I can't wait to find out. Like, what's the topic? Like, what are we doing from A to B and to the end of the game? I have no clue.
I don't know.
I mean, it would be really cool if you're just this traveling band of outlaws and bandits.
Robbing trains.
Money,
and
trying to
do your thing.
Caravans and, who knows what else. Bounty hunting, like all the stuff they're going to have you do. But if you're going to build the gang, that would be pretty cool too. Almost like a Mass Effect style. Like you're going from area to area, and in your experiences, you find these really quirky individuals that end up joining. That would be
that'd be interesting. Maybe at the end of the game is kind of your quote unquote suicide mission, Mass Effect 2,
right?
Like you're going because we remember from
like an armored train.
Yeah, it's some crazy robbery you got to pull off, and if you make the right decisions and you build relationships with these characters, I don't know if it's going to be that RPG.
Well, I don't know about like decision making.
That would be cool though.
But just as far as like you start out, it's like you and two other guys, and your former soldiers. I don't know what their story is, but they're turned to crime, right? Yeah. And then in that you find this character, and through their circumstances they join you, and then they next join you, and then by the end of the game you have like this big crew, posse, if you will, and you're taking on like big heists, sort of like GTA 5.
Yeah,
had the heists.
There was a whole other meta, in that game. So, and I don't remember too much. It was so long ago. But from Red Dead 1, as far as the story goes, there was some kind of falling out with the gang, right? We know that. Yeah. Well,
John Marston met within the gang. Met his wife to be.
Right. Yeah.
Had a little one. It was like, his life is just too dangerous. I have a family. Like I don't want to kill innocent people anymore. Like, so he left the gang. Yeah. And then I think some of them, the other ones, were hunted down by marshals and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And then Bill Williamson is the guy. The feds come to Marston. They arrest him and they tell him that you got to go and take care of this problem for us.
God, I'm excited, man.
Me too.
I'm really excited.
I'm so excited for that game. We know it's going to be great.
Yeah, of course.
They've delayed it multiple times. They've been working on the damn thing for years.
Forever, yeah.
Because Rockstar San Diego made Red Dead Redemption 1 with some help from Rockstar North. Yeah. This one was both of their studios. Over 100 people making this game, and it still took them 5 years to make. So it has to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
It feels like God of War to me. Like, we all kind of just like... You just kind of have a feeling like, this is just going to be a great game.
There's too many people there to quality check it for it not to be as good, if not better, than we're expecting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially when you have the first one, which did so well to compare it to, and GTA 5 to take ideas from at least. And like Rockstar knows what they're doing. You know, it's not... They probably have it down to a formula at this point.
Right.
You include these checkboxes, people are going to love it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So October 26th, it'll be here before we can even think about how quick it's going to come.
And not to be this guy, and it's not a joke, but I read an article talking about how they are talking about including a battle royale mode. So if that is a selling point for you,
that's
and believe it or not, it's not one for me.
No, I would imagine that it's not.
If it is a selling point for you, there you go. I know some people are going to want to hear that.
I mean, if I'm playing the game and I beat the story, I'll do it. I'll play it.
Yeah, but I mean, don't think... Yeah, I just, for those of you interested...
I wonder how do they disperse you through the world, since you don't have an airplane in 1899.
I know, yeah. a train. It just throws you off.
Yeah.
Just you get thrown off a train and stuff.
Yeah, maybe there it is. This train just throw you off in the world, and that's it. So we'll see how that's really weird.
Yeah, it's weird, I know.
But it'd be fun.
It'd be fun. Why
the
not?
combat's
Why
good,
not?
man. The GTA 5 shooting is really, really, really good.
The combat is good. The gunplay is good. It'll be even more fun in a Western setting. People
it's going to be better.
Horses and
It's years later. I'm sure they've made even more improvements to it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm expecting it to be. I'm expecting a 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I never really expect a 10. Like I always think there's going to be like something about the game that's enough for me to bring it down.
Yeah.
You know. I've only given out like 4 10s of any game I've ever reviewed.
Yeah.
Probably like 100 or so.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about God of War and how if you had to pick a thing that bothered you,
right,
the UI would probably be it. But you mentioned how even that never took away from
the
UI.
experience.
And a couple hours in,
it was horrible.
Kinda,
but I got I mean, a few hours in, I got used to it.
So by the time you finished the game, it didn't matter anymore. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, I still haven't decided on my final score.
Yeah.
For
maybe I was alluding to a thing, but
I have not. I truly, I
okay.
don't. I've thought about it. Like there were times in this game where I'm like, this is goddamn 10.
Yeah.
There's other times where I'm like, I can't read anything on this menu, and that's really pissing me off.
Yeah.
Is that still a 10? So like, I don't know. I've moved up and down the scale a little bit.
Gotcha.
So I even at this time where I'm about to start my review, I actually don't know what I'm going to score.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in what I want to do, but it. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out this coming weekend.
Yeah.
I want it up on Sunday.
You think you'll be done by then?
Yeah, I need to set a goal like that. Otherwise, I keep putting it off or write an intro and then I just it'll get out.
That's fair.
Or put that deadline. It's on the podcast now. Like
it's official.
Sunday. What is it? Sunday, May. That's the 13th.
Yeah.
So I want my review up on that day. And then I'm going to start working on the Total War one after that.
Cool. So
we're finally getting review season for me. I haven't reviewed any games this year. So.
Yeah, you're going to be busy.
Yeah.
You are going to be busy.
I've had a lot of time off.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it again. Because that was like when we were talking about when I was playing whatever I wanted. I was like, this is nice. I'm now ready to go back and start structuring again. I like them both, just depending on what we're doing. So, well, there it is. That's an hour already.
That's crazy. There it is.
We spent a lot of it on God of War again.
God of War cast number 2. We're just going to start our own God of War podcast.
Right.
We could. Why not? I just haven't played it. Other than that.
But yeah, so I don't have too much else to go over for this week. Hopefully there's some nice news. We're coming up. We're about a month away from E3. So you and I put up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff went up
during that time.
Yeah, Jesus.
We'll see how much quote-unquote room we have for our podcast service.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of them might have to be YouTube only because there's the Microsoft show, but I love getting together and watching those. If you're at home and we're just texting back and forth.
Yeah, which we did. We did both of.
We did both
last year. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff.
I'm a big fan of that, so I just hope this E3 is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Bethesda usually kicks it off.
I'm trying to be more optimistic after last year. So I want to go in with a good head. I want to go in with a good state of mind and just expect good things, which I do. You know what I mean?
And,
so hopefully we don't get let down.
Yeah. So that's coming up soon. But other than that, that's the week's podcast for you. 57.
Episode 94. There it is.
Well, that's weird because last week was 98.
98. Yeah, we go backwards.
Skip around.
Yeah, it's like a weird
timeline.
It's a prequel to
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, exactly. Very
style.
Tarantino podcast. Welcome back to the Tarantino cast, number 2. But no, that's it, man.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next Tuesday.
Enjoy your week
for our podcast. Yes.
Good luck.
Hope it goes by quick for you.
Hope it goes by quick. I hate Sundays as well. I don't like being here right now because my body wants to think that I have a whole weekend ahead of me, and I don't. I have 5 hours left, and then back to it.
You're going to bed at 7?
Whatever. What time? What is time? Time is relative anyway. I'm on Eastern time. Sorry. But no, thank you guys for coming through. Of course, always like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on a podcast service, including iTunes, make sure you give us a good review.
Yeah,
we're great.
You
love us. Throw some 5 stars or 3, whatever. I don't know what the rating. 10, 100, whatever.
I think iTunes is stars.
Is it 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Give us 5.
That'd be nice.
If we're not a 5, don't.
Yeah, don't give us a 5 just because we're asking you. Like,
No, don't give us anything. If we're not a 5, I want a 5 or nothing. Don't be critical. Don't be constructive. Apparently
this is a fascist regime.
100%. Welcome back to the Fascist Cast number 2. Until next time, guys. Thank you again, and we will talk to you later.
Later.